Hello,
Um,
everybody.
Hello.
I'll try it again. Hello, everybody. We're going to talk about self doubt. My name's Rodney.
I'm Keith, and this is the More in Common Dad Chronicles, where Rodney and I decided let's chronicle our journey to on this path of entrepreneurship and parenting and employeeship, if that's a word, and give 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 a little bit of a breadcrumb to our future selves. More importantly, the ones sleeping on Rodney right now, as they start their journey, and build some community around it, which has been probably one of the more fun things about this up to this point. So thank you for your continued engagement. So yeah, self-doubt.
Today, today I'm on my back, but not because I threw my back out. And you're upright, so you're doing a little better.
For the moment. I'm only upright so I could get so we could record this. I'll be heading back down
Continuous.
in the basement, probably lying on some ice and heat for the next 20 minutes after we do this. But
What you brought up? Well, do you want me to go first, or you brought up self doubt earlier?
yeah, there's this funny thing. We've talked about belief before, confidence, and one of our mentors once said to me, one of our connections, we were talking about that very topic, and he goes, "Welcome to the world of entrepreneurship and self-doubt." And at the time, I thought it was an interesting comment. Um, but for me, at that time, it was very much rooted in the belief in myself. Fast forward, I mean, it's been 6 weeks, and I've spent a lot of energy and effort on that very function of belief. And I believe wholeheartedly in our cause. I believe in our ability to execute that cause. I believe in our, the cause to anchor humanity and compassionate conversation. I'm starting to doubt if I'm personally doing enough. Am I executing properly? Getting am I contributing most effectively to the cause personally and within More in Common? And trying to understand what that means and where that's going to take me today. It's a bit debilitating, because it also makes me just want to lie around and do nothing.
Is
And
it?
since I have
Is
an
it at
excuse to
all?
lie around, I can.
Is it at all? I wonder if that's a psychosomatic thing. Um, is it any? Is it at all imposter syndrome related?
Yeah, it plays a role.
Yeah.
Uh,
hmm
um, that plays a role. I think part of it
How's
is, yeah.
how's doubt typically? Like, have you had a lot of self doubt in general, or is it like in life, or is this a kind of a new thing for you?
I think I've always defined it as just a lack of confidence. Or what's interesting is I think I've always found it to be a personality problem, right? Like, oh, I'm, all of those stories that we tell ourselves, you're not good enough, this isn't for you, all that stuff, but it being so rooted in who I am. Um, so the understanding of it to be self-doubt versus it being a personality flaw is a little more liberating, but I don't know exactly how to work through it other than to
hmm
just get through it. um you build up these protective mechanisms over time that just say, hey, I know you're saying you're not good enough, so just go hide and do something else.
hmm
When you believing in that, like, that's just not an option. So it's okay. So what do we do next to make things continue to progress and move forward?
What
And
does it
yeah,
what does it feel like, self doubt?
sad for me. Feels very sad for me.
And it results in, you said, kind of wanting to lay around, so more of a depressive kind of feel.
Yeah. I mean, if it's more of a sad thing. I wouldn't
Hmm.
go so far as depressive, but it's
Yeah, I'm
like,
not saying depression, but
eating,
like
eating,
on the
eating.
scale of depression to anxiety, it's more
Yeah,
of a
like it's very
others
much like I'd rather eat a gallon of ice cream right now than work out kind of thing. Yeah,
comfort food time.
yeah.
Have you fought that at all? Like, has that been an actual, like, I'm gonna go grab a gallon of ice cream, or you
No,
like,
no. On the physical side of things, I have too much. Plus, I've been out of the gym for 4 days. I finally worked out again today. So, like the idea of having a gallon of ice cream makes me nauseous.
oh, does that play into it, not being in the gym for 4 days?
Oh, that totally plays. Like this whole last 4 days, it is remarkable what a lack of movement does
Mm,
to the psyche. Like so today, I am lying around icing, heating, but then intermittently riding the bike for 20 minutes, really trying to get that energy back up.
mm.
Because even in the gym today, I cut my workout slightly short. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know? So I think yeah, that it all intermixes. And what's nice about it though, at least from the evolution of me personally, is it feels more isolated as something to work through versus rooted that's a problem. Like that's a personal problem, right?
Mm,
So I don't know exactly how to manage self-doubt other than to talk about it
mhm.
and connect with you on the business, and let's talk about what we're going to do next, and let's really anchor and set forth a strategy and a plan and go and keep going. We've done a lot
If
of great things and we've just got more great things to do.
so, if I heard that right, you have been able, you're seeing it more as a, it's like it's like a sprained ankle or a thing that's out of alignment
Yeah,
versus genetic or like
right, versus
hard
like
coded.
yeah, yeah, like I have pain in my ankle that is forever and all time versus a sprained ankle that just needs a little treatment.
And maybe not even a sprained ankle, like it's something that you can actually, like, oh, I can actually lift weights and make this arm stronger.
Yes.
Like, got you. I'm just curious.
No,
I
it's good. That's one of the things I love about doing these as the day comes up
mm,
is two things. And I want to call this out. Like we talk about compassionate conversation. Like your approach to this conversation is it's inquiry, it's understanding, it's asking questions to have a better sense of where I'm at. Ultimately helps me find where I'm at too.
mm.
um it's a good approach versus like throwing out solutions, ideas, and trying to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, you threw that tasty bone out there a couple times. Like, I don't know how to do this with that, and I could have been like, well, this book says. But no, I
Yeah,
just like, I don't. I when I think about it, self doubt hasn't really been my issue. It's been more self acceptance, which we'll talk about later. But
yeah,
so I'm just trying to, you do a thing where you ask people how they feel anxiety, and so I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I wonder how you feel self doubt.
yeah,
So
yeah.
sadness. Um, cool. Anything else? Any
No,
any anything that really helps you that might help somebody else
no, like
thus far?
I honestly think one of those realities is that we all experience self-doubt no matter what it is, right? And whether it's at your job, whether it's as a parent, whether it's waking up in the morning wondering if you remember how to brush your teeth. Like I know it's a silly example, but we all experience self-doubt in some form or fashion. It's equivalent to being human, right? Unless you're a narcissist, and even they probably experience it some degree.
Hmm.
Um, and I know, like having this conversation right now and understanding where my self doubt is very much on our business and like are in the cause of anchoring humanity and compassionate conversation. So for me, one of those areas is one, it's movement, it's doing something, right? Like it's healing my back, right? Like I got to keep the blood flowing, but I also have to ice it and rest it. So part of the icing and resting and this is having conversations with you, planning, thinking future, like what is happening next? How are we going to keep building on what we've done so far? And so that's part in this conversation and part in conversations we'll probably have later today.
Makes sense. And I guess I have experienced imposter syndrome, especially I think it's a lot of times when starting a new job. I felt that, which is almost like this, almost an anxious kind of like, are they going to find me out? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
But I think that's different than this.
It is a little different.
Yeah,
It's still it's related, but it's still different. Yeah, I mean there is part of that imposter syndrome that says like that leads to self-doubt. Yeah. So it lingers. Yeah, it lingers. I wouldn't say that's the cause here, but it definitely plays a role and has a, as we like to say, a dotted line.
Dotted lines. Gonna need that TPS report.
So,
well, appreciate y'all for hanging out. I've been trying to keep it low energy. You
got a sleeping, teething baby right there.
Yeah. But thanks for sharing, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, honor all that, and hopefully you figure it out. I know you will, and then we can share what you figured out for those who are also in the self-doubt, train, on the train, in it, whatever.
How do you, and then the question is, how do you manage your self-doubt when it creeps up? When it creeps up, not if.